Hello, good afternoon. My name is Francisco Aguilera. This is my capstone project for Kaiser University. The professor is Mark Noel, and here goes my audience right here. Here you go, Doug. Alright, so basically what I had to do was write a report, research report, 15 to 20 pages on a topic. The topic that I picked was juvenile deviancy. So I'll be talking about some factors, some theories that theorists have out there, and some conclusions and solutions on what we can do that can make our juvenile society better. Alright? So what is juvenile deviant? Juvenile deviant is something that's far away from the norm, something that society does not accept. Alright? So a quick story about this. Michael Brewer in 2009 was a juvenile, age 14 years old. He was lit up. Three other children poured alcohol on him and lit him up. Michael Brewer obviously survived, but 3 years later, he then became a juvenile delinquent when he was arrested by Florida Highway Patrol, and he was charged with paraphernalia, having drugs on him, and a couple other charges, alright? So that's a quick story. So he became a good kid, and then he became a deviant kid. So we have to stop from being bad to being good. Alright? There's a lot of theories out there on why deviant behavior happens to juveniles. A lot of theories. Theorists out there have come up with their own theory. And I'm going to talk about three of them. One of them is determinism, another one absolutism, and another one is voluntarism. Determinism is based on the environment. The environment predicts how a juvenile is going to come out, how their whole attitude is gonna come up after being raised in an environment. That's one of the theories that I don't agree with, but it was a really interesting one to read and research about, so I put that in my paper. The second one was absolutism, which talks about characteristics and traits. This is a really interesting one, but I really don't believe in it. And it's basically telling us, the society, that a juvenile is born delinquent. So once they're born, they have traits in them, and they automatically know that this certain juvenile is going to become a deviant person. So I don't really believe in that one, but it was really, really interesting to look it up. The last one is voluntarism, which I believe is the main one, the main cause of it, and it deals with the juvenile itself. I believe that they have the ability to decide whether they're going to become deviant or they're not going to become deviant, whether they're going to hang out with the wrong person or they're not going to hang out with the wrong person. And even if they do hang out with the wrong person, they still have the choice whether they want to become deviant or not. Alright, so if you guys have any questions, you guys can stop me at any given time, and I'll be gladly to answer them.
I don't have any questions, but I also believe in the absolutism, because I also believe that when they say, once they're born juvenile mess-ups, or however they can want to be titled, or how they're differently titled, but I also really strongly believe in that, because they're not born like that. Because this young man, I think he really turned like that because he probably felt that society didn't take action into what happened to him like so quickly. They took their time and were trying to, because they were juveniles, it also did this to him. So I also don't believe that it's because he was born like that. I think what happened to him took him to what he was.
So it would be voluntarism. So he decided to become deviant? That's what you're trying to tell?
Yes, because not absolutism.
Everybody has their opinion, so if you believe that, I like voluntarism too, because I was a juvenile once and I had the choice which way to go. Alright, another great theory that they had out there was an age called the terrible twos, and that's when I believe when the babies turn 2 years old, from 2 to 4 years old, a parent can decide whether to fix their behavior problems towards their children, or to just keep it that way. So if a baby has an antisocial behavior, they could catch it on early enough in order to fix their children, in order to tell them what's right from wrong. So the terrible twos is a really good technique that I researched about. Alright. Antisocial behavior is another one when they're in their terrible twos. If a baby doesn't want to go with other family members and interact with other people around their family and they just want to be with their parents, that's something you might want to take a look at. Alright. Some factors that I believe that lead to deviant behavior. There's about 4 major different ones. One is sociological, one is string theory, one is geographical, and one is family. All right, so I'll be introducing each one of those one by one. The sociological one deals with society. Obviously, society is a big part of why juveniles become so delinquent nowadays, because it goes back to voluntarism. They decide whether to hang out with them or to decide to move away from them. String theory is another good one. It involves the wanting of something. When somebody does not have enough financial support to want something, then they go out and start committing deviant behavior. So string theory is, for example, if I was juvenile once and I liked somebody's watch, however my parents couldn't support me enough to get one of those watches, I start collecting or I start stealing in order for me to make up so I could get the watch. So that's a good example on string theory. That's one of the big factors that I believe that juveniles become deviant. And if you start small, the crimes start small, they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and sooner enough you'll know that those juveniles are incarcerated. The geographical one is a little iffy. I don't understand this one so much, but basically what it says is that if you live around a certain type of people, then you become that same person. So basically saying, if you tell me who your friends are, I can tell you who you are. Alright, so if you live in a rough neighborhood, in a low-income neighborhood, and a polluted neighborhood with crime, then most likely you're going to become a criminal yourself as a juvenile, because you see things going on, and you're gonna adapt to their society, and you're gonna think that's fine. The family is the most important one. One of the big reasons why juveniles become delinquent is because of broken family. A broken family is when both parents are separated, and the child has to go live with an aunt, has to go live with a bigger brother or another sibling besides their parents. Right? You can pause it.